This is a car that we started yesterday. If you've been following along or if you have not been following along, I think that maybe some of the information that I should have given that I did not, so everybody understands. There's a lot of controversy about the front end, okay? Yesterday, I got the hood fitting as best as possible and got it moved over on the chrome so it's dead on the money. It was over probably 1/4 of an inch, and we got it moved over where it should be, and we've got it adjusted the best we can with that point right there, and that's basically what we're doing. That's the point that we want to get, and that's what's going on. A lot of people are saying push the front end over, push the front end over. Well, come on over here, we'll show you this. I have to show you, because if I don't show you, then really you don't understand. You're judging without knowing. That's why they say it's easier to judge because you don't have to think. Well, what has happened here on this repair, and I'm going to tell you something about this repair as I point this out. I am not knocking the repair. I am not doing that. That's not the kind of guy I want to be, and that's not who I am. But what I'm going to tell you is I'm going to show you what is going on for making me do what I'm doing, and maybe then, you can sit back and think in your own brain and say, wow, would I have thought of that? So here we go. Me and Bernie have been talking about the car. Bernie has saved this car, he said, from being crushed. Someone must have gotten a little bit of damage with it and fixed it the best they could. That's basically what I'm saying. So I'm not here to throw rocks. I'm just going to show you what's going on. We have no seam here where the fender can be taken off, and we can see that it's welded. It must be welded down here on the sill, because there's no place there for me to move or take off or whatever. I would say it's probably welded there or bonded up there. And we go over to the other side, and it's exact same way. As you take notice on that side, we'll look at that side there, and we'll see. I just go slow. We'll see that where the chrome runs and where the fender runs. See that, you know what I'm saying? How it runs along here, goes onto the hood. We come along. So we come to the other side. This side of the fender has been welded on, and we have a little different seam going on up here. The chrome is not down here where the should run down. It's up a little bit to go for the hood. Well, I would say that the car had some damage, obviously. Bernie told me that he wanted to save it. It was going to be crushed, so he saved it. And I see nothing wrong with it. The car runs good. He's put a motor in it. I see nothing wrong with it at all. I see some sheet metal that is probably out of place a little bit. And really, who cares? Who cares? What it comes to is Bernie wants to spice her up a little bit, make the hood fit a little bit better, and splash it with some paint. In return, I got to put some louvers in the hood, sorry. In return, I get a rusty, non-running Jaguar. So this is where we're at, and this is what we're doing. I am not, if you can imagine, someone said put a porta power in there and push that out now. Can you imagine? I'll have to take the grill out. I'd have to take the pot metal off. I'd start messing with the headlight. I would probably crack or split something there trying to push that out. It still would not be right because it's welded down there. So what I'm doing is, he asked me if I could get the hood fitting better, and I told him yes I can. And yes I can. And I'm going to do it this way to be the most practical that anybody could be. And I'm going to tell you something at the present moment. As I see this car, the real body man could make this car look spectacular just the way it is. That's what when I say about a real body man. A real body man does not mean that you can't get your car fixed because you have to cut your fenders off and you have to cut that one off and you have to pull that out. Then the guy's dream is ruined. That's not a real body man. That is somebody that has just destroyed someone's dream when it can be easily fixed, like I'm going to show you. You know what I'm saying? It can be easily fixed, what I'm going to show you. He's not wanting a show car out of it. He's wanting me to make the hood fit better without trying to destroy anything. And I'm going to show you how we done it, how we're doing it. And that's basically it. The front end cannot be pushed over one way or the other. We have damage. We have damage that has not come back all the way yet. And I am not going to knock that person, and I'm going to tell you why. The person that may have fixed it may have not been a body man, might have been in the back dooryard and wanted to get it back on the road. Now, it'd be pretty foolish of me to knock somebody that's got the will and the want to put the car back on the road after they have smashed it or dented or whatever. That's what basically where I'm at. Like, you really have to learn. I'm learning at the present moment as trying to be a better person. I'm learning all the time. I do not want to throw rocks at people. I do not have to say anything about anybody to make myself feel good. Nothing. Not a damn thing. And I will remain on that situation because I want to stay there, because me throwing rocks at somebody is making me look bad. And I'm starting to learn that, and basically I want to help Bernie out, and I do not have to run any of this down to do what I have to do, for him to be happy with me. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fix that, and I'm going to put some louvers in the hood, and I'm going to throw a paint job on it, and he's going to love me. Poof! He loves me. I didn't come in here and I'm not going to rip his car all apart and say this and that. No, we know that, and that's where we're at, and we're both good with it. And I'm fantastic with it, I'm happy that he's willing to do that and not stop because he thinks it's whatever. Why ruin your dream over something stupid when you can put a little mud on it and fix it? Hood works better. Hood worked better than yesterday, didn't it, baby? Huh? I hope that what I'm saying is, let's not all try to throw rocks before we know the whole situation. Now, if I started pushing on that with a porta power, the radiator would have to come out. You have to think of that sort of stuff. I've thought of it already, like when I looked at it. You have to really think of that sort of stuff before you start, saying things, because you have to think, how much time would it take the radiator, take out the antifreeze, get the hoses off, I got to take more places off because I have to find a place to put the porta power to push or whatever. There's so many things like that can crack. Then have to grind this out, have to take the grill out, have to cut the fenders off. Wow, we would be into thousands of dollars. That is not necessary, and I'm going to show you the genius way. The easy way to make the hood fit. And it does not matter to me one damn bit. It does not matter to me one damn bit. And whoever can take something from this video, I hope you please like, share, and comment. Good or bad. If you feel in your brain that this car in order for him to, make himself happy, he needs to cut the front end off this car. He does not one bit. I am going to fix the hood without, I thought about it. I could have cut it a little bit and welded it back up. Why would I do that? That hood has got nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I look underneath of it, it's got nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful hood. So I do not want to touch the hood. That's why I'm going where I'm going. I'm going to add a little filler on the cowl part here. I'm going to make the line look right, and I'm going to scratch this off here, and I'm going to add a little filler here so it looks good around the edge of that hood. And then we're going to call it, Who's Your Daddy? After that, that's what we're going to do. What I'm doing right at the present moment is I got a piece of 80 grit. I should have some tape put on that stainless there. I'll be right back. Piece of tape. I hope more people understand that things do not have to be perfect to be happy, All you have to do is please yourself. Please yourself. And right at the present moment, I'm gonna try to please Bernie with fixing the gap on the hood. Fixing the gap on the hood, and go from there. Jolene is going to tape it off. What I have noticed is we're going to have to be careful, me and Jolene. This is another thing too. I plan on not priming anything. We're trying to make it as reasonable and presentable as possible for the least amount. So as we get going in this car, I don't want to put primer on it. I do not want anything. We want to do a nice tape job on it. We don't want to tuck anything. We just want to cover what's shown. But as I noticed, I took a little 400 and I've rubbed it. It is a base clear, and we've noticed that, you know, we've got some runs going on there. And what has to happen, if you notice that in the paint, if you notice that, that is just like a guide coat. If you notice that while you're sanding it, you have to get your block out and try to block them off so you do not see them. If we sand this car off and I painted it, it would look like I put that in the paint job. It would still be there. So we're really going to have to be careful. Well, not really be careful. We're going to have to use the paint. You can see up here, as I'm sanding it off, you can see like sort of the orange peel in that, right? We're going to use that as our guide coat. We're not going to guide coat it at all. We're going to sand it off and paint it. If there is a dent or two, which I see like this and like that, I am not going to scratch it down to bare metal. I'm not going to do that. We're going to put the fill right over top of the paint, but we will scratch it good. And the reason I'm saying this is the paint is sticking on the car. So if I scratch the paint, the filler will stick to the paint, which is stuck to the car. Just like Sesame Street. The golden Ann is in the golden van and take it to Stan. Remember that? But anyways, that there is what we'll do. We'll swipe that with a little filler. We'll swipe this with a little bit of filler. We are not going to strip anything to bare metal. I'm saying that again. This is the most practical paint job that you'll ever see in your life. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do the most practical paint job you've ever seen in your life. And the reason being is we are not going to cut, weld, prime, nothing, you know. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to do that for burning. And we're going to louver the hood. I'm just scratching this off right now in here with an 80 grit, and the reason being is I'm going to put some mud in there or some glass to make the gap feel right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow that off. I should probably wipe it off. And get a rag. So what I'm going to do is, as we see right here right now, sounds good when it shuts. As you can see right now, if you come across this bad boy, as I've got that centerpiece lined up, Jolene's shown you that a couple times, that's got it dead on the center. We are not able to move the front end over because it is welded on, and who cares? We have straightened the hood. What I'm doing here right now, when I come in here and do that, is that such a terrible thing? In your brain, you must think about, is that such a terrible thing to make that gap look nice, to move that over? In my brain, I am not welding anything. I didn't take the paint off or nothing. Like I did scratch that up there, but I'm not welding anything. I'm not warping the hood. I'm not cutting or welding on this. If I cut or grind anything, that means I have to get in deeper. What I'm trying to do is do it as cheap as possible and as reasonable as possible to get the job done. So that's what I'm doing. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that gap look a little better and go from there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a piece of cardboard probably and lay it in there. We'll put some tape on the wax side out, and then I'll come in and take fiberglass and I will fill that line up to make it look better. So that means nothing's been welded, nothing's been hurt, nothing's been destroyed. If someone wanted to take this car and grind and cut the fenders back off and cut her and get her moved over a little bit, when they start playing with the hood and they started playing in here, they could remove that fiberglass and it'd be still like new. The hood will not be cut, nothing will be any further damage than it was before. I'm just putting a little filler on her because she's not looking good in the morning when she wakes up. You know, she get a little needle on the end of the eye there, make her look a little better. You know, same thing, you know, just the same thing. We got some, I suppose that's still in the truck, is it? Fiberglass? Nope, right there. Yeah. Got some material yesterday. There you go, just like that. Nothing's for free nowadays, and that's the truth, because in 1932, that air station and water station, they say the air and the water was free. But nowadays it's not. Nowadays not. That's how this old saying comes, nothing is for free, right? I think it's that way. I'm just going to, I have to do a couple things to get ready here, sweetheart. I'm going to open that screwdriver right behind you. I'm going to go behind you. Or give me a flathead screwdriver, man. That's quite a screwdriver now. Me and Jolene went out to supper last night at the Spitfire in Windsor with some car people, and we had a great time. Yeah, baby. Yeah, we had a great time. Must say they served good food. I had a chicken sandwich. Jolene had some fish cakes, and everything was great. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. Huh? Rex, sorry. Yeah, Steve was there too, wasn't he? Yeah. Keep me straight, baby. Keep me straight. That's what I'm going to do there. That's about all I'm going to use for there right now. I'm going to thin it up a little bit so it'll run in there nice. I just have to get a piece of cardboard. I got my brain on a couple different things here. I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and slide it in there against the hood so the fiberglass does not go against the hood, and then I'll show you. I will show you. I get a piece of cardboard. This will do. Thanks for the cardboard there, guy. If you come up to me and said, I'm the cardboard guy, I would know exactly who you are. I'm the cardboard guy. I know, an awful big pair of scissors for a little job. It is what it is. So what I'm doing in here is I'm just going to take this piece here. I wonder if I should run that all in there and do it. I can do it right on, the floor. Let's take her all in. Let's take our station right in there with us, and then I can do whatever I have to do. Can be done there on the floor. I've worked on the floor before. I'm not going to get through that door. I know it. Nope, not going to happen. So anyways, I'm going to take a piece of tape, put on this here, right here, piece of cardboard. If you can picture it, this is what I'm going to show you right now. If you can picture it, I'm going to lay the hood's here. I'm going to lay this on the hood. Fiberglass is going to go in this side, and it's going to go up against the green tape, and it will not stick to it because it's got a wax on it. Or it should not stick to it. It's got a wax on it. And if it does stick to it, we'll pull it off. So I'm just going to make it that high because there's, quite a gap there. So that's the piece I'm going to use to hold it back. I'm going to thin it out with some of this, just because I like to have it a little thinner for some reason. Like it running there good. That's just a fiberglass resin. I'll get it stirred up before I put the hardener in it to make sure I get it the right texture. I just want it to fall in there nice, that's all. That way there, when I slide it in there, it'll run right in place, hopefully. So, as we started, we had 1 hour on Bernie's car yesterday in live time, and we did not touch it since. So we're live right now, working on the car. This is the first time we're starting to work on it. And we're going to have to try to get this done as quickly as possible to make it, good for us and Bernie. Obviously, we have to do that. But we want to show you what we're doing. We can show you us sanding it, but we want to show you exactly what we're doing. But let's face it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in there like that. I won't stop it there though. I want to stop it. Yeah. This is what I'm going to do. I got a pair of scissors in here, have I not? Come on over here, some there, old buddy. I needed some down here, so we'll tape that back together there. I got no tape there. I'm going to have to go behind you, sweetheart. So this is not a restoration. This is a trade, and we're trying to do it as reasonable as possible. And I think Bernie would be very happy that we were doing as reasonable as possible. He seems like a frugal man himself, just like meself. Look right. I have that right? Did that even go right? Psh, didn't take that on there right, did I? Just trying to make it go down here further. Stay down. Boy, I can't get it. Leave it off. Ah, stay down. I can come further. I can come further. I just want this to stay down is what I want to do, but it won't stay down. There we go. Yeah, we got her. I hope. I'm just using this for defense. There will be some that will get on the car, obviously. There will be some that gets on the car. Where'd that? Did you go underneath the car? Oh, jeez. Good thing I didn't mix that fiberglass up, eh? Ha! No, folks, I'm not all good looks. I'm just trying to make the pattern fit a little bit better. That's all I'm doing. And I'm trying to do it as quick as possible. Okay, I'm going to go with that, you know. I'm going to go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that up, and I'm going to hold that, put that in there, and maybe stand there for a couple minutes. Who knows? But that's what I'm going to do. And I just made the fiberglass a little thinner, just so it'll run in there. Basically, the way I look at it, I am adjusting to the problem that we have, but yet going to fix at the same time. You know, I'm adjusting to what the problem is, and the problem is that hood don't fit very good. Now, I should have maybe got a place to put this, but that's going to be too hard to hold and do that. No, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to do it. There we go. Look at that now, would you? You stay right in there just like that. Awesome. Awesome. And just a little very bit on the edge, you know. Well done, Chetty. Well done. I love this guy. Ooh, I don't want to say that too soon. Get it all over. Now all that fiberglass that's sitting on the paint, I want to get that back off. I don't want that sitting on there because it's not sanded there. So just on the edge is where I want it. going to do is I need fiberglass. I need fiberglass right there. See that little spot right there? Now, watch this now. When I come back in for more mud, I'm going to get the fiberglass on this side of the scoop. See that? It's kind of runny. I'll put it on one side so I get it down in there. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. No sense putting it all over the thing. You just want to pile up on one side. I need to scoop that. I want to do that. I don't want to hit this. I don't want to hit that at all. Remember where I want it. I want it on the other side. I'm going to put it in a pile. And it's taken off is what it's doing. I'm putting lots in there. It's just taken off down in that seam, trying to fill that gap with glass. So it's running down in there like I'm hoping it will. I still got sort of more of a gap up there. I could have went ahead a little bit more. I just put a little bit on there because I can. That sounds about right, doesn't it? Because I can. We'll just go with that. So what's going to happen is take that off. I don't need that on there. I don't need that on there. I'm going to grab a rag and wipe that off. If I do not wipe it off, I'll have to sand it off. That makes sense. If I don't wipe it off, I'll have to sand it off. And it's not sanded underneath there, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. It's not sanded underneath that glass. It'll try to stick there, but in all honesty, it should not be there because it's not sanded. That's something you can bitch about. If it's not sanded, yeah, that's something to bitch about. We're doing a fantastic job here. Trying to get that off. Cool. I'm going to put a little bit more on back here because it's fell. And what I mean by fell is it rolled over the edge and fell down in there a little bit. And see this, where this is in here, we have this tape in there holding that. That's a great thing. And the reason being is it's not letting it go down through and we're losing it. Now over this side, it'll fall down in there because of the weight. I'm just going to get by you there, sweetheart. I'm going to throw a little glass on right up front here. This part of the hood, that's probably going to dry on me probably. This part of the hood looks really good right there, you know. I don't mind it down the sides, it's fine. It's fine down the sides. But what I do want on Bernie's car, see how it's got a little gap going on there. We've got it hanging up over here a little bit. I'm going to fix that. And all I'm going to do is add a little glass. It looks like it's ripped and torn there right now, to be honest with you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glass there, build that up, and make them a new line. So it looks nice to the eye. To the eye. I should get rid of that glass. I know it's going to dry on me. It's just holding that down so nice, though. If you know what I'm trying to say. Clean this off. And I'll probably need more. Once I pull that out, I'll probably need more, obviously. But that's a good first start. And while that's building, me and Jolene can be a sanding and a taping, right? That's basically the situation. But I'll have to sand alone while Jolene loads the video. Come on, baby. Yeah. Maybe I'll do something to the 40. Wait for you. She's probably saying, I didn't want no Jaguar. But basically, this is the quick fix in my brain to make this look good. This is my quick fix. That's why it's easier to judge, because you don't have to think, isn't it, baby? Huh? Prove it every time. We can get more in there. That's all right. I'm going to throw this behind you. And we'll have a reveal on this one too, won't we not? We'll have a reveal. We'll put some shiny paint on it, put some louvers in the hood. Let's all remember that the hood is not touched at all. I'm going to wait a minute for that to come off. Come on, if you want to come over here, you can see how it's separating, how the tape is not sticking. Put the wax side out. You can see how the tape's not sticking. I even impressed you?
Yep.
All right! I love my baby. I don't know what's going on up there. I don't know if it's folded out too far or what happened. Let it dry some more. I don't want to ruin what we have done, so I'm just going to let it dry some more, and then we'll peel that out of there and see what it looks like. But right now, I can get some tape. And I have to do this with the hood on, or you would be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I know where the hood goes on now. We're all the way forward on this side, and we're all the way backwards on that side. If you come over on this side, we've got a big gap on that side. We had a big gap, now we don't. This side, we're really close. And I was looking at, well, geez, I got to, you would never cut it off the edge of the hood. That's where your stainless is going. You would actually bump this back on the cowl. You would bump that back a bit to get a nicer line. Don't know what we're going to do there. Probably going to try to sand off what's there to make it better and go from there. I'm not getting into cutting it, but I will sand all the paint off the edge of the hood, and I will sand everything back on that the best I can. Probably lead in there or something, maybe. Hoping for the best. Anyways, I've got this grill here. I do not want to get anything on his stainless at all. That just makes it rough on yourself if you do that. Just makes it rough on yourself. Then a baby. Then you have to get it off yourself. Just going to cover the top of it up in case something falls down. Basically, just don't want to get anything on that. And this is going to be the hard part. I'm going to try to get some glass on this and build this up a little bit so I can get a better line and go down in there. I can aim the line down and make it look like it's up here. I just got to build this up higher and put a little fiberglass on there and see what happens. Right there, I am not going to have it runny. I don't want to make the fiberglass this time runny, and the reason being is I want meat. If you know what I'm trying to say. Up there I made it a little runny because I wanted to go down inside there and I wanted to go down inside there. That's what I wanted. I don't even know what's going on yet, but it'll come off. We'll make a new line. But anyways, I do not want it runny here because I want it to stay in place. So I'm going to scratch that up with an 80 grit. I guess it all depends on what you're going for. As a repair, I guess, what I'm going for is just to try to make this look a little bit better around the corner. That's all I'm doing. And I never know, I'm not busting into anything. I do not want to bust into anything on this car because I'm not going there. I'm going for a paint job, right? We're going for a paint job. I start busting into something, I will be here for months. And happiness has nothing to do with money, right? Has nothing to do with money. So you could spend no money on this and be just as happy if you spent $60,000 on it or $70,000. You could be just as happy. Believe me, money has nothing to do with happiness. Happiness is within. I'm happy to be alive. Hey, baby, happy to be alive? Woo woo! Happy to be alive. I'm just going to wipe that off. I'm going to get some filler made up, and I'm going to put some filler on that. And basically, like I said, what I'm going to try to do is, with them coffee cups, basically what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to build this up. I got a gap over on this side. Just evidence. I got a gap on this side like that, right? I'm just going to build this up a little bit here and aim the gap in, and it should look the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate your eye. I'm going to manipulate your eye just to make it feel like it's fitting better. Also, I will have not touched any of the car that is like really good. Like I have not bothered any sheet metal up there. I have not bothered the hood whatsoever, not hurt anything. I have not even hurt this. All I've done is scratch the paint. All I'm going to do is add a little more filler to make it look good. And that, to me, that's the most practical fix on this car. I'm going to try to work that out before I forgot my thing in there. Hello. I'd like to waste a whole bunch, but to be honest with you, that's going to be a hard place to get that in there. I'm probably going to have to put it on with my fingers. So I'm going to get some gloves on. Believe it or not, I'm going to get gloves on. One glove will do. One glove will do. Hardener should be in there. Hardener should be in there. All right. We're leaving it meat this time, and what I mean by meat is thick. We'll leave it thick this time, and the reason being is we want it to stay in place. So there's a difference. The reason why I mix things the way I do sometimes. This is for filler. The other stuff I like making it so it runs in. Just stay still, it won't hurt a bit. Ha ha! Just stay still, it won't hurt a bit. It won't hurt a bit. All I'm doing is adding a little filler. So if you were stressed out over the years and need a little, something to make you feel better, I'm your guy. See? A little filler. I'm going to put it all on, and I'll tell you why. Because I can grind it all off. You know what I'm saying? I would never sand this off. I will use a little tiny sander. Try to get up where I want it. Maybe I'll stick it to the tape there for a minute. See if it'll make it stay. See, what I want to do is stay. I'm just going to stick it up there the best I can. We don't want to get anything where we're not going to use it. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get anything where we're not going to use it. That's for sure. I think that you can see on the front how you can tell how I'll manipulate that line. You see what I'm saying there? See how I can, now I can sand that gap to make it look like a gap. I can just sand back on it and make a gap. It never had one before, but it will now. And I'll leave that there because that's holding that up. That looks fine to me. It looks great to me. Now I'll be able to feather this, build this up. I'll be able to feather that off and make the nice little gap going here to the chrome. And then after that, we'll feather it off just like it's the hood, like you're looking underneath the hood. We just want this to look nice. And to put a little bit of that on there, put a little bit of that on there to make that look nice is way more practical than cutting the fenders off, moving the front end over, fixing the damage and pulling all the chrome and stainless off. Wrong job. Right, baby? Wrong job. I should pull that out and see what happens. Well, how much time? Doesn't matter. So, if you have something on your project that is not fitting the best, like I've watched a few videos where, I've seen how some people fix their, like if they have a door that comes up, say you get a brand new door. I've taken my time and welded on the edge of the door to try to bring it out, try to make it fit. In the end, I should have took a little fiberglass and put it on this side of the door jamb, on this side of the door, just like I did up on that cowl. Just put a little fiberglass there and fill that up a little bit. You can't, you know, you're not putting it on the outside. You can't tell, like, the only way it would come off if you hit it with a hammer, if you sand it properly. But if you start welding on the edge of the door, you have to figure this out. Then you've got a welder, then you've got a chance to warp, then you've got a chance to burn something, then you've got a grinder, then you've got to prime it, and then you've got to fill it, and then you on and on and on to make that little problem go away. You know, it's not worth it when you can come in here, put your door on, get your gap fit, whatever, get your gaps fitting. But it's easier to put a little mud on the door jamb. Way easier. The mud on the door jamb, like you putting the mud on this, like I don't know. When that's on there, what really is that affecting of the panel other than being on that edge to close the gap up? It really doesn't affect anything. And I really feel like anybody that's buying or putting on doors that are welding the edges of the doors up to get them to fit on their post, if they've got enough room, I feel like it's better to fiberglass the edge than to do that process of welding. There's too much going on there there's too much work going on there when you start the welding process. And it's still the same thing when you're done welding. You still have to fill out the door after you're all done. When you could have just went in there and put a little fiberglass on the top of the post and been done with it. Over, gone. Give me the next car, right? That's basically what I'm trying to show here now. Now, I had a knife. I'm going to cut this off because I was talking and wasn't paying attention. Wasn't paying attention. I'll pull that cardboard out and then we'll go from there. Buzz that off. We're just trying to close the gaps up with some fiberglass for the... I can. I'm going to get this off. I should just open the hood up, I guess. Have to cut that. that's working good. It's working better now. If nothing else, we got the... Did I tighten that up, did I? I don't want to break anything. I might be too far over. Alrighty. Take a knife. I just put the wax side down on the tape. I was going to go get my glasses, but maybe I should. Yeah, live dangerous, Chad, live dangerous. Shh. And the reason I say live dangerous because I'm going to have to put a little filler on this to make it smooth. I just take and trim it up a little bit more. I do want my glasses. I'm sorry, people. I gotta have my glasses. I'm just that kind of guy. I want my glasses. And I'll put the cover on at the same time. I don't know how well these ones are going to work, but. All right, man. I can half see. I'm just going to cut it back a little closer, that's all. Or a little further, so I don't open the hood. Basically, I'm not even doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what you're supposed to do. I haven't got the tape in here. This is what you're supposed to I always say this. This is how you know how you get your door line. I mean, like this tape. Take your edge of your hood. We've got the edge of the hood there. We got a little wide there. We're going to have to add some there. We're going to have to put a little filler in there. But we'll do that when we open the hood up, right, to the bottom. Couldn't get in there because of that and that. But as we do this, we're going to go with the edge of the hood. And we're going to give, that'll show us the gap that we want. And that means Bernie's car will fit perfect. There, so we know we want. Now I can just lay that tape in there. When I come in from the other side, when we take the hood off, and then I can rub the fill into the tape, and the tape will hold it how much we want, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. So I would lay my tape like that. And then when I come in with the filler on this side, when I go to fill down in there, this tape here, I can pull it up to the fill, pull the fill up to the tape, and the tape can hold it. And then I know I'll have enough. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And right now, if I cut my fiberglass back to the tape line, that's basically what I want for a gap. That's like winning a war without raising a sword, isn't it? Huh? We haven't even turned the welder on. And we've, you know, I think that's winning in my books. Call it whatever you want in your books, but I call it winning. When you can fix something easier just by doing that. Sandpaper can do the rest, but you see where I'm getting at. So now, as you check across, I'll pull, well, I don't want to pull the tape off yet, to be honest with you. Yes, I can pull the tape off, no problem. I pull the tape off. Now you can see what kind of body line he's going to have, and that's sanded off and painted. We'll have to knock the top of that off, put a little bit on that, and you will never know. Get a little closer, I thought, so I could take some back. I put a new line there. Got a little close now. We had a terrible gap there before. Yeah, I'll just leave that there now. That's the gap. On the front, I can tape the thing too, actually. If you want to come up here. Well, I need a little bit more in there, but I can tape what I want on the hood, or on this part. I show the line that this tape's too wide to kind of get her go around the bend nice. That's the reason I'm doing that, just make it easier on myself. That tape out wrestled me. Now, I could probably trying to just emulate that. That's all we're trying to do is emulate that there to there, just to make it look like it's going better. We're getting into what he's already there, but all we're trying to do is emulate it. All right. Starting to look better already. I could take it, bring it back some more. We're down to, what can I say? We're down to the old. So to make that line bigger, see what I did? I just pulled that tape back, and I'm going to angle this back. So the hood is still as close as it was before, but I'm going to fool your eye. See how I did that? I had the tape up there first. Now I'm going to cut it back and angle it back a little further to open the line up a little bit more. That's basically all I'm going to do. Now, when you paint that with that back there and angled in there, that'll make that gap look like that. If you know what I'm trying to say, it will. It makes the gap bigger because it'll look close, but the gap will be bigger because the edge will be out here where it's going. So we'll sand that down a little bit, and then we'll feather it off out back here. And basically, we'll have that repair done. We'll have the hood fitting. That's what we want. We want the quickest, easiest, fastest way. I still have to come in here and rub this off with something, and be careful because I don't want to, like I said before, I do not want to put something on the car that we have to try to get off. So I'm just trying to keep the basic as possible, and we're going to fix this front here, make the hood look like it's lined up. This is lined up, looks perfectly to me now. The hood's coming, it's clicking nice. And now that we look across the back, he's going to love me. Poof! Bernie, you're going to love me. All right, everybody. If you've learned anything off that, I would ask you to please like, share, comment, ring my bell, tell Jolene how good a job she's done, you know, doing this thing, getting it done every day. Like, it takes a big process to get it done. We thank you all for coming and watching. I wish that, no, I'm glad I didn't explain it all the way, because the fenders were welded on and everything's not movable. I'm glad we did not do that, because it allows people to understand the point of, if you do not know, it's so easy to judge. If you don't think about it, it's so easy to judge. And that's why when you do this sort of work, there's no real sense in throwing a rock at somebody else's work, because you really don't know. You really don't know the situation. It could have been that this is the last car he had, and he didn't have the money to fix it. He tried to sell it to get rid of it. He knew that it was whatever. Doesn't matter. But just, yeah, it's easier to. I'm just glad that happens, so everybody knows that there's sometimes you just have to sit back and wait for a minute, and it'll untail itself, if you know what I'm trying to say. And Bernie's car is going to be just as fine, with a little bit of filler right there underneath the eye, and a little filler on the lips right there. This car will be just fine, and it'll be just gorgeous. We'll make sure that we use all the paint. When you're sanding something like this down, we're going to use the paint and the texture of the paint to be the guide coat. That's what we're going to do. And thanks for following.